So, hello, Gman 5D. I'm your recapper, Lewisham, if you didn't know, for the season. And every week I'm going to aim to put out a video about just your general teams, your progression, the scores, who's winning, who's losing, who's making upsets, all the good stuff. But this video is just a little bonus, a little Precap video where I'm going to go through the teams as they stand before any games have been played and just see in the post-Greenhorn world who's looking good, who's looking bad. We'll see what's going on. Looking forward to getting to know everybody. I don't know how many of you know each other from previous seasons. I've played about 5 seasons in Rebbl, and I only know 2 people from this division. One a little bit, one very well. We're going to go through each team just in order, top to bottom, and I'm just going to give my thoughts on your team. I am not the best Blood Bowl player because I am a slave to the 6-ups. I love them. If I see a 6-up pass, I'm going to make it. It's always a bad decision. I'm going to try it. But in theory, I know I'm doing the wrong thing. So when I go through the theory of your teams, I hope at least I can give you some ideas, or maybe I can give you a different point of view. Anything you don't agree with, anything you do agree with, just tell me. I'd love to have some 5D discussion between us all. So I'll go from the start. If Jim would stop talking. Maybe I should have left the commentators off. So the first team we come up against is the Trufelheim Tacklers by the Sir. Now this is one of the 2 coaches in the division I've met before, because we played in the Greenhorn and it was a good game. He's got a good team. So Undead are always scary because they're Undead. Undead are a great team on paper. They have great players, great costs, great development, and he has some good development. He was a scary opponent. For a start, you've got this block mummy in Karis. Now, every time a mummy levels up, or really a big guy, you want block. Block is the dream. And you don't know when it's going to come. When it comes first, especially on a guy who already has Mighty Blow, is perfection. So this is going to be a scary mummy. He's already on 10. Once he starts to rack up some other skills as well, it's going to be a nightmare. The other one only on 3, not came along yet. 3 is actually an interesting number because that means he's done at least one agility-based thing. Has he scored a touchdown? Has he got a Kaz and a pass, or an intercept and a pass? I don't know. But he's done something interesting to get to 3. So I'd watch out for him even though he doesn't have skills. Lifestealer and Life Taker are fairly normal weight development, Mighty Blow and Tackle. Useful skills for the 2 of them. I'd be quite worried about it if I was an enemy. Both of them are certainly useful, both of them are certainly dangerous. Nothing crazy than what you expect from weights. I try to avoid them. I think everyone in this division should try to avoid them. They're quite scary. The Block Dodge Ghoul, also a standard. The Ghoul already has dodge, give him block, strength 3, horrible ball carrier. 2 unleveled Ghouls. And, he doesn't have 4 Ghouls, which Undead can sometimes do. I don't think he needs it, really, with the rest of the team, but you can imagine it's coming. And then a bunch of zombies. 1 has block. That's just fair enough. I might have given it Dirty Player because, they're quite good with Dirty Player. They're cheap. They can do a little fill. You got a lot of them. But he's went for block. Block just means it stands up more. It gets in the way more. It's more annoying for the other team. That makes sense. The only thing that stands out really here is Toilet, who is a zombie whose name just doesn't fit with every other name in the team. So I'm just going to assume that this is a zombie that he killed from another team in the Greenhorn and took with him on his adventures. I burped. Another thing is, when I do these videos, I ain't going to edit. I'm just going to run through. We're going to do one recording. There might be some strong language, so I hope there's no children in the division. And we're just going to release it. I'm just going to give my opinions, unfiltered, unedited, what I believe. This team is good. This team is strong. This is the kind of Undead team you don't really want to come up against because they're just good. The only thing I would change is that would be a Dirty Player zombie if it was me, but I don't make good decisions. So I definitely peg this as one of the stronger teams in the decision, and after playing against them, he's a strong coach as well, for sure. So definitely watch out for the Sir and his Trufelheim Tacklers. Next up, Freya's Guard by Glodion. Norse team. Skill-wise, Mighty Blow on the Yeti. Fantastic, because it already has claws. Is now treating every member of your team as AV6. It is a terrifying player, which you don't want to go near. Wild Animal will probably be your only saving grace against this thing. I would, if you've got a big guy of your own, try to take it down. If you don't, leave it. Mighty Blow Berserkers, perfectly fine. I mean, tackle lineman, yep, block tackle, great. He's got a dirty player. It's missed next game, unfortunately. Has it got an actual real injury, or is it just missed next game? Oh, he's got a niggling injury, actually. So, he's picked up some injuries, as he would, because he's missed next game only on this guy. As he's Norse. Norse at Armour 7, they're going to pick up some injuries. And that's just the way it is. But, I think Glorion, you can definitely see, has an idea of what he wants to do. And with all that Mighty Blow, it's removals. A little unfortunate in that neither Wolf has block yet, which if you've got them in the first few games, you can definitely exploit. You know, get them, even if you've got to take 2 dice up hills or just 1 dice blocks, get them with a block player, you got a pretty good chance. But, already got an answer to dodge, already got 3 Mighty Blows, level up on the big guy is huge, you want to get that as quick as possible, and he already has it. Like I said, like the Suz team, if you could have got block, it would have been perfect, but Mighty Blow with the already existing claw is also fantastic. So, Norse, I expect him to make a couple of heavy hits in the season. I don't know how he'll do as we go further, because like he's already got these injuries here. He's got a hole here where I assume a player used to be. That'll happen to Norse. The Armour 7 and some games are going to be bad. But with these skills and just with the general block that they have already, some games are going to be good. Now be careful when that happens. Next up, the Bretonian team by Niklas Svensson. I might embarrass myself by saying Adol Ochpobil. I don't know. I only speak English. The Bretonian team, their team value is high. Very high. And if you look in here, I mean, an immediate offender for a high team value is 8 movement. But if you've ever played Bretonians, you'll know how good an 8 movement blitzer is. I will never try and say any of the knights or blockers names. I'm good with the lineman names because they're in English. He's got the other blitzer here who's got dodge and sure hands. That's going to be the backfield man who's going to pass the ball, either take the ball and run it, or he could go pass next and be the passer. Either way, got a solid backfield player made, got a solid touchdown player made with a +1 movement. Guard blocker is obviously always what the blockers want. It can be quite hard to get the blockers their first level because they don't have block for some reason, which can really limit them. And of course, so far we've got 2 out of 3 teams with a dirty player featuring. Young Albert is going to make all the difference for that dirty player. Fantastic skill. I am 100% on with Niklas's idea here. Niklas, one of the two. Guy who scores touchdowns, guy who can get the ball from the back and pass it out. Also blodge, so hard to knock down if he is being used as a runner. Guard, which is fine, and dirty player. This is standard Bretonian advancement. He's got the apple and 3 rerolls as well, which make up a lot of value. He's going to give away some inducements in the early game, but I don't know if there's any inducements that will really overcome just such a consistent team build. So I'd place him as a danger team as well for this league. Next up, Nurgle team. Now, 850 team value is very interesting. And it's because he has 9 players, 2 of which are missing next game, and those are Nurgle warriors. Are either of them injured? He's only missed next game. And he's only missed next game. So they'll be fine. They'll come back up in team value going into game 2 of the season. But right now, that is a bad place to be. If you have Sulfur and his Heinous Huggies in game 1, that is a good game for you. I mean, it's not looking great in terms of development. He's got a Block Rotter, which I would have made dirty player. He's got a Guard Beast, which is fine. Guard on the Beast is beautiful. And a Block Pestigore, which is really good. No levels on any Chaos Warrior or Nurgle Warrior, which is pretty bad. You want those ASAP. To have none through the whole Greenhorn is pretty bad. But also to be missing 2 of your players. I can only imagine he went through some tough teams. So I wish him luck in game 1. And considering Nurgle are a slow build team, I don't see him doing too much this season, no offence. But if he can get some wins and get some SPP, then for next season he'd have one of the scariest teams in the Rebbl. But this start seems catastrophic. And I hope you can recover from it going forward. I don't think you have much luck in week 1, but probably in week 2 when you got 4 warriors again and going forward from there, I think you'd have a good shot. Next up, the Nimrats by Laguna Calahad. So, Skaven, of course, you can't get through any division without a Skaven. So what jumps out immediately is the Strength 3 Gutter Runner. Everybody hates those. Really strong player. Block Dodge Gutter Runner, much more standard. Obviously, I imagine this one will get blocked next. Kick on a lineman is good. I think Kick is a solid skill choice, especially against the Nurgle and the Norse and like 6 movement or below teams. Kick can really cause problems. So I think Kick on good old Fitzgibbons will be a good choice. The thrower on movement 8 is expensive, but it's not a bad choice because wherever that ball gets kicked, he only needs to leave Mo in the backfield and he can reach it. So he doesn't need to worry about deep kicks when he has a movement 8 thrower. That's a really good play. 2 throwers is quite interesting. I don't think I would run 2 throwers on a Skaven team, especially not now that he's got a far superior thrower in Mo. But it can work. I'm only ever proven wrong in these things. I'm never right. And the 6 movement Storm Vermin has to be addressed. That's bad. Now, he's only got 60k, so obviously he can't afford another one. And when you can't afford another one, it's fair enough to still use the 6 movement one. But I would not use that. I don't think that's a good player. But this is a Skaven team. It's a Skaven team that's already got a Strength 3 Gutter Runner, a solid thrower, and a Block Dodge Gutter Runner. Skaven are nasty. I reckon he could easily take some wins. I'll be interested to watch. Dark Elves! Now, this is interesting because A, I can see they've already played a game, so they've got some level ups to do, but they haven't done them yet. And B, I love Dark Elves. This is my team. So he's gone for quite expensive start of 3 blitzers, a witch elf and all linemen, and then bought another blitzer, I can imagine. At 1360 team value, this is high. Now the witch already has block and dodge and is about to level up. You could see all sorts of things there. It could be tackle. If he gets a stat, it could probably be a stat. A doubles could be mighty blow. That'll be interesting to see. The fact that it already had block and dodge probably had a major influence on his game, because this is a fantastic thing to get the Witch Elf to. Already a Mighty Blow Blitzer, which is doubles, and another thing Dark Elves really need. Fantastic. Blodge Blitzer, with a niggling injury though, which isn't ideal, but he does have Blodge, he's not going to fall over or have his armour broken that often. 8 movement Blodge Blitzer, terrifying. Dodge Lineman, Wrestle Lineman, niggling injury lineman, and a lineman with a level to go. I'll say it right now, the Sickless Swizzle Sticks are set for a fantastic season. That's Dark Elves with every tool they need coming out of the gate. I'd watch out for them. I really would. I wouldn't want to play against this team. I would love to play as this team. It's not a good situation if this is your opponent. And given the 3 level ups, and it looks like he's already played his game, I think his first opponent probably experienced that. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's a great team. That's a great team, and I'll expect great things from them. The Valakaz Ass Kickers. Now that is a name I like. From Teoclis. So, not a very high team value. Not too many levels going on. But they're good levels. I mean, 2 block Chaos Warriors is standard, but you need it, and you need it quickly. And he's got 1 and 4 SPP, which means just one more good hit, and Gannicus is going to go over the line. So the Chaos Warriors, good place. Block Beastman, again, he's just giving the team consistency. And then you have Blasco Kitate El Casco, I think, with Agi 4. Now that is great. He only needs to level up again and get one ball handling skill or a passing skill, a mutation maybe, and he is the backfield player. Now Agi 4 with the pickups, the passes, everything, that is a fantastic enabler for Chaos teams to have an Agi 4 player. So Chaos are a pretty slow go team as well. The first season is usually not too scary. He's got a lot of block, which could make a bit of difficulty for teams that don't have strength access, but I don't think he'll explode onto the scene. I expect a few games of warm-up, but towards the end of the season, there's could get pretty rough. And I like that he's named a player after himself. Teocles. That's perfect. If you don't name a player after yourself, what are you doing? Ah! The Gorkies now. Some orcs from Dart Illyry. Fantastic. Now, not much progression really to comment on here. Block Black Orc, which is the same as the Chaos Warriors. You want it quickly. You want it first. It gets the player set on Strength 4 block. Fantastic. Mighty Blow Blitzer. Standard. This is the good one. The Strength 4 Blitzer. Now, he's a bit expensive because he's got Strength up. But, you know, he starts with block. He's now got Strength 4. Movement 6, Agi 3. That's a scary player. Riknast could easily be the MVP for the Gorkies with what he's been set up to do. And the thrower seems ready to take over. He's got a lineman on this next game, but he'll get a journeyman lineman, so team value 1100 is fair enough. 2 rerolls Apo. Standard, not too much picked up from the first few games it seems, but Strength 4, definitely a solid start. More Dark Elves. So, Althoff Black Widows by Canis Lupus. Now, in comparison to the last Dark Elf team, not as insane, but almost as insane. So, Block Dodge Witch, covered that already. Fantastic piece to have. From there, she can go anywhere. She's really hard to deal with, and you need that block. Once you get that block, she's so much safer. I'd like to see someone start to take a second Witch Elf with Wrestle. A Wrestle Witch Elf can be a fantastic addition to a Dark Elf team. So, for both of them to have went for block so far, I think makes sense for the first one, but I'll be interested to see what they do with the second one. Block Dodge Blitzer, that's fine. A Block Mighty Blow Blitzer again, so both Dark Elves team coming in with a doubles on Blitzers to get Mighty Blow. It makes a difference for them. As a team that bashes more than Agi teams should, is really nice for them to get Mighty Blow. And the Movement 8 Blitzer as well, just like we saw in the last team. But this one doesn't have dodge yet. He's only got 6 SVP, he's just got his plus movement, but there's plenty of room to feed him touchdowns, feed him blitzes, everything. And again, kick. I love kick. Kick is another one that works really well for Dark Elves. Really, really well. And I like the naming convention on this team. I'd say mostly weapons except Lilith and Shield, because Lilith is just a name and Shield is a shield, but the rest, pretty good. Pretty good. More Chaos, the Byzantine Bashers by Toaster Bait. I like these are all references to the Byzantine Empire, I'd imagine. Constantine the Babe, definitely, it's an interesting name. Again, 2 cases of block on the Chaos Warriors. It's what you need first. It's fantastic. Wrestle Beastman, I love it. First time we've seen Wrestle in this. Block is for the Warriors. A Beastman with Wrestle can do so much more than a Beastman with block. I mean, it's good to take a few with block, but a starting Wrestle one when you come against those blodgers is great. Obviously this one's rolled a doubles and took dodge, which is great because he can take block next and he can be a real pain of a Beastman. And Alexius has -1 movement, which isn't great, but I mean it's only a Beastman and he's got 0 SPP, so I mean I think it'd be okay with him being on the team as well. So this is another one. I don't know if they'll be particularly scary coming out the gate this season, but a couple more block, maybe 1 stat up, a couple more, you know, Beastman levels, terrifying like all Chaos. So keep an eye on it, because the dodge start is great for this one especially. We're on page 2. Oh, more orcs! More orcs! Lorcos de la Cabeza by Coach RSV. So this one's a little stuck, actually. It's probably the weakest orc so far, in that no black orc has leveled up. In fact, this one has an MVP and that's it. So no block yet on the black orcs. Blodge on a blitzer, which is nice. This doubles and it's nice. And he's got a level on this blitzer to do as well, so we don't know what he could get. And he's given block to the thrower, so 2 skills extra right now is not great if he'd done the greenhorn. But 3 rerolls an apple, no dead, no injury busts. He's going to be a bit slower than the other orcs, but he's still orcs. So I think a few early wins wouldn't be out of the question for these guys. But I don't know, they need to pick up some SPP, especially on the Black Orcs soon, if they want to mount any sort of serious challenge. Because the Black Orcs don't get blocked soon. They don't get their full potential for the season, which is a shame. Next one, no blitzing with Wolf. It's a Necro team. I imagine he doesn't believe Ambi Tank in blitzing with a Wolf, which is fine. I agree with that. And this one looks pretty nasty. So we've already got a block werewolf and a mighty blow werewolf. Now that's the scary one, because if it can get casualties to get to block as well, then it's scary. Or even feed it touchdowns because it's movement 8. Because again, it's like I said with the Norse team, mighty blow and claw, you're treating everyone as AV6. It's horrible. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. So both wolves looking good. Only on 6 though, not in any danger of immediate next level ups, but that's how it is. Flesh Golem with Agi 1, irrelevant injury really because it's never going to dodge, it's a Flesh Golem. Guard Tackle and Guard White, so they're 2 solid whites. You saw in the last Undead team, he went with a Guard White and a Tackle White. Ambi Tank is obviously elected for Guard on both first. No, sorry, last Undead team was Mighty Blow. So this one's elected for Guard, probably to help the werewolves with their blitzes, especially with Frenzy, which is a fantastic idea. Whites are the most manoeuvrable piece, with also some sturdiness in the Necro team. So you want to move them into a position where they can get hit, but they provide those assists. And Guard is fantastic. And then next case comes Tackle. And essentially both those skills say that Mr. Hugs is going to get some hugs in the form of being hit in the fucking face. Because both those skills say, don't dodge away from me, please hit me first. But if he uses it well enough, that can be exactly the perfect position to put a white in. So I think it's a good set of skills. A Wrestle Ghoul. Interesting to not take a Block Ghoul first, especially on Necro where you only get 2, even though I just praised Wrestle earlier. But I can see the point, because you can use them as a ball sacker then. Because if somebody who has the ball has block and dodge, you get in with a wrestle, it's fantastic. It just means that it's more likely that Aldar or one of the wolves will carry the ball, which is fine. You have the options on a Necro team. And a Dirty Player Zombie! Everyone loves the Dirty Player Zombie. I want to see some fills in 5D, boys. If I watch any of these 5D streams and I'm not seeing fills, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to do this team last. So we come to the second last team, the penultimate team. Then the Highgate Wardens. So High Elves by the Coach Burner. And I mean, High Elves only really have one kind of way forward. And accurate there is fine. Accurate on the thrower. You want accurate. You can just get them in the backfield, get the ball, throw it up to the catchers. That's what he wants to do. Accurate's perfect start. 2 block dodge blitzers, both the absolute standard development for a blitzer. Perfect, makes them really hard to deal with. Probably sidestep next if they don't get any doubles. Oh, I've clicked on a player. Interesting one to come to Anthelerion Elentia with his Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow is obviously good on elves. You don't get it very often. It's a doubles. To have took it on a catcher though is interesting, and I want to see how you work that in. I don't think I would have on a catcher, because when I play high elves I wouldn't hit people with my catchers often enough that I'd think that skill is worth the extra money. But Burner could play the game completely different from me, and he could absolutely use them enough that it matters. He could go for block next and have a third pseudo blitzer, really. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's an interesting choice. I want to see it work. And then the more standard block catcher over here, I would maybe went dodge even. Neither catcher has dodge, which can be pretty hard to score touchdowns without dodge. But, again, we'll see how he does. Guard, good choice on alignment, especially because the armor 8 in the high elf team. And wrestle. perfectly good choice in lineman. So coming along great on all positionals. I wouldn't agree with the catcher choices, but it's up to him to prove me wrong. They might be great. I don't know. I want to see it. I haven't played much High Elves, and I want to see it. And we come to the last coach, Banthok. Now, I said I knew 2 people in this division. I knew the Sir mildly well. I know Banthok very well. He's only level 7. Look, he's fucking shit at Blood Bowl, guys. This guy, I've watched him play. He doesn't have a clue. He literally doesn't even know like what makes the ball hard to pick up. If you lose to this guy at any point in the division, if I don't see him go 0-0-13, I'm going to be upset. He does not even know half the races in the game. He just picked Bretonnian because he went through an alphabetical list and they came first. So I'll look through his team for whatever it's worth. A Dodge Nerves of Steel Blitzer. Alright, that's alright, I get. I mean, it's actually shit. Why would you give a Blitzer Nerves of Steel? It doesn't make sense. Do you want him marked by 4 people when he catches the ball? Because he's not really going to get away. I don't know. That was his decision. Block Dodge, I can agree with. That's at least a sensible choice. That at least makes a bit of sense. So, I won't mate him for this. Guard on 2 blockers is perfectly fine. It's what they should take. It's the next skill. Agi 4 blocker is interesting because it costs a lot of money. And the blocker can't really do anything with his extra Agi. He's not going to be your ball handler. And he's not going to be your goal scorer. Maybe he wants to leave him in the backfield and use him to pass towards the guys who have catch. I think that's the best use for that then. And it's probably the only use as well. So that'll probably become his role. The only unfortunate thing with that is it takes him out of his role as a blocker. But Bretonnians kind of have to make that sacrifice because it's either a peasant who's useless or somebody who has another role. Their backfield is pretty hard to deal with. And then 2 linemen are missing next game, which just happens because they're armor 7. This one's armor 6, actually, James Gravy. So if you kill him for me, I'd be really happy to anyone in 5D who kills James Gravy. Just let me know if you do that. There might be something in it for you. And this guy has kick. Kick, perfect skill. I'm all for it, to be honest. I really am. I think in this division, you'll benefit from him kicking your team. So that was pretty much it. I think definitely what I would say you most should be scared of in this division is the Triple Lime Tacklers, just because they're undead and they have some pretty good progression. Definitely the Sickless Swizzle Sticks and the Alpha Black Widows, both Dark Elf teams, because it's a scary race and they both have some scary levels. And the Skaven, just because Skaven, man, it's hard to deal with Skaven. And I'm going to predict last place goes to the Barbecue Brawlers, for sure. So we have played some games already that I missed. Highgate Wardens bit Adderlock Pobble, Freya's Guard behind his Huggies, and No Blitzing with Wolf bit Valakas Ass Kickers. But we'll cover that next Wednesday in your actual recap, because this was supposed to be before any games have played. So as I said, let me know if there's anything about your team you think I missed. At me if you don't agree with my opinion on your team. It's a very opinionated game. I'm very happy for you to tell me that I took Mighty Blow because, and I want to know why. And as we go through the weeks, I hope you'll enjoy this. I hope you'll enjoy that I cover the results and the teams. And I want to get to know you all, except Banthok. And just go out there, boys, play some Blood Bowl, do your best. And if I said your team's going to come last, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just go out there and come first and prove me wrong, because it's been proven time and time again I am a complete idiot. So, have fun. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Wednesday.